GT class, and we've got a class winner there, Paul Wakik. Paul, come on up. Taking the presentations is Alan Briere,
National Sales Manager for Coney Shots. Alan, come on up. You can join us here on the phone. We're going to get you a bit of a workout here going up the stage. First of all, we appreciate Tony's involvement with CGCC by Pirelli. What are you guys learning here on the racetrack in terms of the product you put on the cars?
Everybody's having some pretty good success with it, so we take feedback from the driver and the team. We really appreciate, you guys welcoming us here, and we look forward to 2 years together. We are learning a lot from the drivers. I've never been in Motorsport, maybe Tire.
Switched on and qualifying.
Some of us old timers still call it Motorsport, some mispronounce it Motorsport, but as we know officially it's Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Let's move up here and talk to our TC winner. Tom, not a whole lot of, Paul, not a whole lot of competition out there for you in terms of your own class, but I think you were mixing it up with some of the other drivers out there. Any particular moment that stands out in your mind?
There's been probably about 5 or 6 SRO and sport cars all racing each other, so it was nice to see them all get by me and racing and pass each other. It was exciting. I had the best in the ring.
Any changes you're going to be looking at for the race tomorrow? You guys got a long break now. You can enjoy the weather, enjoy the other races, go race till late tomorrow afternoon.
And probably just a little bit of tire pressure.
Okay, congratulations. Our winner in the class, Paul Wakik. Okay, congratulations. Let's bring up our second finisher in TCR, car number 66 in the Honda Civic, Gary Kwan. Fast, any moments out there in the car? We're going to bring up our winner here in TCR, Matthew Taskin in car number 2030, RS3.
Yes, and unfortunately, we're talking with Matt Fosnot much earlier than we would have liked. Matt, what happened out there?
Unfortunately, I just made a mistake. You really try not to make mistakes on the first lap. I think I got a tough start, and maybe I was trying a little bit too hard. Coming out of turn 5, there's a big drop off the curb and a little bit of mud, and I've hit it many times before, but this time it's just a little bit too much. And to save it, I had to drive it into the mud more, and then the mud hit me into the wall, and I think I must have had wheel in it because it just caught the front wheel. Otherwise, the car there's like no damage except the front left wheel.
So, no concerns about being able to compete in race 2?
No, I don't think so. No, shouldn't be a problem.
Sorry to see you out so soon.
Yeah, me too. Sorry. Thanks a lot.
One other update quickly, guys. There is a problem, it looks like, for Nate Stacey. You mentioned he had such a great start to the race. They think they might have a tire puncture. They were unsure if it was just low tire pressures or picking up debris or perhaps an issue with cold brakes. They ultimately did elect to bring him in since they had this extra lap of yellow to check it out. So Nate Stacey in the pits right now, and they're going to work on the right rear. I just checked with Dean Martin, who is the team principal for Core Motorsports, to see what the issue for Nate Stacey was. And Nate's been on the radio saying when he goes to the brakes, it makes the car turn to the right. They thought it was a right rear issue. They took a look, as you guys saw just a moment ago when they brought him in. Couldn't find anything wrong. They sent him back out. He's still having the same sensation. So he's about to come back to pit road. They're going to take a look at both sides of the rear now to see if they can diagnose what the problem is. But it's a real shame because he had jumped a bunch of spots on that opening lap before the caution. Sure, we're standing by with Jake Bailey, who is the crew chief for Nikolai Elgadian. You've been on the radio. What has he said about this duel he's locked into right now?
He's not saying much. He's staying super focused on keeping with Pirelli. They have a super good battle going on right now, a little cat and mouse game. But we're looking forward to a good, solid race between the two of us, and hopefully we can get in front and stay in front.
This car has been fast all weekend long. What is it about this track that suits your car?
There's not a lot of straightaways. It's a lot of turns. It's a high-speed turn course, which benefits us. We're a slower car, but we can carry the speed through the turns. That helps us out compared to the bigger, heavier cars.
Is Nikolai coming up with a plan for the final laps if this thing stays neck and neck like we're seeing right now?
Oh, yes. Our plan is to keep on it as hard as we can through all the turns to help our car out. We're on the brakes. We're keeping everything good, nice and tight. It's going to be a tight race.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
check in and get the other side of this battle for the lead. Weston Farmer is the team manager for TRG. You've been listening to Spencer. What's the radio communication been like?
He's frustrated in the corners for sure. That Expo's real light and is really fast through the corners. We've got him on the top speed. Their tire deg, I'm afraid the longer this race goes, the faster they're going to get. So he's just holding on for dear life right now.
Is he coming up with a strategy for how he can get in front and stay in front on that final lap?
He hasn't mentioned a strategy. I think he's just driving the tires off that thing. We just hope they hold up.
I know that you've had some near misses this year, a little bit of disappointment. Even a podium finish, that would be a nice boost, right?
Oh, that'd be great. After VIR, we struggled a lot there. So a podium would really, a podium would be really nice this week.
Hey, good luck the rest of the way. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Well, let's check with Ray Sorensen. He oversees the Black Dog operation. We've seen Michael Ruddigan, podium contention. Everything good from where he's sitting?
Yeah, we're hanging on there. We'll see if we can last this last 5 minutes there. The guys are coming, so we'll see if we got enough for them.
What has he said about how the car is running here late in the run as these other guys are getting closer?
He hasn't said a whole lot on the radio, which is okay. He's just doing his thing. So they were fighting behind him, and they got a little gap. Michael was able to get a little gap, but here they come. They're coming a little close. So we'll just have to see if we can hang on.
A good battle behind him as well. We'll let you get back to work. Thank you.
That's where it's difficult with the dynamic when you're in a first battle like this. He wants the best overall position he can gather, but he's got to keep focused on that class win as well.
Yeah, the guy he's most focused on right now sits 2 cars behind him in that number 12 Mustang of Stavely.
Now for tomorrow, Pumpelly has the fastest lap at a 24.1. Again, fast lap today determines the grid positions for tomorrow.
Cooper is just shallowing his entries everywhere. He can't leave any kind of an opening for Robinson right now, can he? James.
Well, he's looking for opportunity. He's just
certainly
thinking
is.
if Gar goes for it as he looks to the inside of the McLaren right there. Can he suddenly take advantage like he did a few laps ago when Andretti was going hard at it with Shane Lewis?
Looks like James actually gets a little better run out of Moss.
Yeah, the punch off the corner is really good. It's just that very tail end of the straightaway. He's in the draft right now. He loses about a car length there. And they get to the top and into the turn-in point for turn 8. It's a little bit bigger.
Very nice move there by Frank Gannett. Realized that the overall leaders are continuing to come by. Just moved out of the way, let them all go through. Frank's already had a good start to his weekend with a podium in the Sprint X race yesterday. His new co-driver in that category.
Big run by Ian James. Almost gets into the back of Gar Robinson, but manages it nicely.
Gar just had enough to be able to stay up front in that 2-car battle into turn 1.
James wants this position badly. Oh, Robinson really wide. Missed his marks there a little bit, feeling the heat from behind. He's feeling the pressure. James down to the inside. There's no gap there. He had to get on the brakes really hard to avoid getting into the back of the Camaro.
Yeah, Robinson sensed what James might be doing there and left that car. Now James on the flank, trying the outside of 4. This is brave territory.
Woo-hoo!
Is he going to get it done? He does. But can he hold it now into Moss? Gar cuts back underneath. There's a little wiggle. I don't think there was a touch.
That was an awesome series of corners by these two boys going hard at it, the championship leaders.
And they still are side by each. As
Oh,
they
they
head on, there's
touch.
a touch.
That was almost a big one. You get turned at that high speed up the Andretti straightaway. Gar's got to give him some room.
Yeah,
Gar's squeezing him a little bit. That gives Andretti the run.
Yeah, that won't be looked at favorably. And it brings Lewis now up alongside.
Ian is going to be frustrated by that as we hit the last lap.
The margin 1.7 seconds for Elganian, who was able to get through, but this whole battle behind Cooper now. And that exchange has given Cooper some breathing room once again, Cal.
Yeah, and Andretti's up to 4th, as you can see.
Yep.
Tell you what, I think if Ian James gets on the tail end of that Camaro, we could see some action. I'm not sure he's going to be happy about the little squeeze job that Gar Robinson gave him.
I would agree. I'm thinking the officials might not either.
Well, it's such an unbelievable half a lap to get to that point, and then up the straightaway it was really close. And James is strong for the first half of the straightaway. Gar just needed to give him a couple inches more room. I'm not sure if he just misjudged it or was intentional to block him.
Well, I mean, he certainly did not. He squeezed him all the way to the grass. As you said, whether it was intentional or not. But now the issue is they've caught the back of Andretti, and that has slowed Robinson up, and James is close. Time has expired. We're on our final lap. Lots of drama to play out here. Nikolai Elganian, is he on the cusp of his first ever pro win over a driver the caliber of a Spencer Pumpelly? What a story. And Elganian on the throttle. The Marco Polo Motorsports Muellerized crossbow from KTM takes the win with Pumpelly second. But what about this scrap? Here comes James. He's going for it. You know that. There's the touch. Watch to the inside.
Watch Lewis. He's going to get a run on his teammate.
And he nips him.
I knew Ian was going to go for it if he could. Oh, look at this. Argy-bargy after the finish. Gar Robinson is not happy with Ian James for that move.
Yeah, there's going to be discussions after this one, certainly.
Whew. That was a wild one. I love it.
Yeah, just an exceptional run to the finish here. And looking at the scoring here, the margin of victory about 1.6 seconds. Cooper third, Andretti fourth. And as you would imagine, and we talked about it, multiple incidents now between the 74 of Robinson and the 50 of James.
Get a lot of paper printed on that one.
Exactly. Well, and you know, very early in the race, remember that run up the straight, you wondered, was there a little touch? And I wonder if that wasn't what just sort of kicked everything off, if they felt, if there was.
I think the emotions were running high in both of those cockpits.
Yeah. And for Robinson, he found speed, as we said. He didn't qualify well, doesn't look comfortable, but he found speed in that race. And those two came in tied for the points. And here's the final corner move.
I mean, Ian was there.
Yeah, he's clearly alongside.
Yeah, he's clearly alongside, and Gar didn't want to give it to him. So I'm not sure if the touch after the start-finish line from Gar on Ian was intentional, or whether Ian just backed out of it, but it looked like a bit of retaliation to me.
Well, we'll let the far smarter brains of race control deal with that, right?
We'll have a coffee.
Exactly. But how about the run by Elganian? I mean, he got there
so
early,
deserved, yeah.
Had to give it up again just due to the straight line of that Porsche.
Key moment was that bobble for Spencer in turn one that just created the gap where Nikolai could just run his lap times, and that won him the race.
And Andretti, superb job. Fourth most of the race, dropped to sixth for a while, back to fourth. With all of that battling that was unfolding, winning in the AM category. Stavely, 8th overall, but still second in AM. Oh, yeah, they're still John, aren't they?
Yeah.
In the background
James
there.
pulling up alongside Gar Robinson, trying to determine what was going on.
And Alan Brynjolfsson had a very quietly effective race, didn't he? Up into third. Yeah, a pro winner. And Jason Bell, we talked earlier, he had his best qualifying here, fifth, ends up fourth in AM.
There's Spencer.
Yeah.
He's coming to give him some congrats. That was an awesome battle.
That was fantastic.
Fantastic.
I think I just heard Nick say that was the best race of my life. Thank you so much.
I think Ian and Gar are going to have a similar chat and keep their helmets on.
They'll be patting each other just a bit more firmly. Oh, fantastic.
Well, it was early in the season, Greg, but I think that was the race of the year so far.
No question. And in a variety of different areas. I mean, that battle between Elganian and Pumpelly, and then that group, Andretti, James, Lewis, Robinson, Stavely, Cooper for a bit before he was able to break free. I mean, it was just superb everywhere you looked.
And Lewis did get Pippi's teammate, Gar, so Gar dropped 2 positions there from the last corner apex to the line.
All right. Well, we know he is going to be a bit elated, and it is well earned. Ryan with our winner.
Well, a pro win for Nikolai Elganian. What a battle you had with Spencer Pumpelly as well. What are your emotions?
I'm exhausted.
Just exhausted?
I'm speechless. I honestly don't know what to say. It was by far the best race of my career, and I can't thank Spencer enough for being such a gentleman driver. I mean, we went back and forth a few times, and we never made contact, so big hats off to him. And I couldn't have been here without Marco Polo Motorsports and Mueller Eyes. They put the car together, and my God, it's amazing. Also, big thanks to Colin Altamari. For my workout, they let me come out here, so it's a nice little advantage with them. But the race went well. We had a bit of a bad start because of the cold tires, but I just kept with Pumpelly until he pulled away from the pack and decided to start to push him a little bit. And for the last 4 minutes, I gave it everything I had.
For a driver of Spencer's level of accomplishment to come up and congratulate you after a race, what does that feel like?
I'm very honored. I grew up watching Pumpelly when I was a kid, and I never thought I'd be, first of all, racing against him, but competing at the same type of level with him. So, I couldn't be happier right now. I'm literally shaking.
You've earned it. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, something of a dream come true, and it's emotional when you've just realized a dream like that, isn't it?
Special. Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, and he was breathing hard, and I mean, he was up on that wheel.
To get a win, but to get it in that way is magic.
And here's a look at some of the highlights, and Elganian from pole able to hang on to it. Cooper, a classically aggressive start.
as was Andretti.
Yes.
Now Ganian managed to maintain that track position through this opening lap until the back straightaway, and Spencer cleared him. And drama here for Fastenal. He just got a little bit wrong coming off a Moss corner, got in that mud and clouded the wall.
Interesting little moment here. Just a little nudge. You wonder if that was maybe
Precursor.
the start of things.
Yeah, start of things to come.
And it was just going to get more intense after that. This beautiful move, James just willing the Panos around the outside of turn 8. That is bravado.
It's one of the best highlight reels of the year.
Yeah.
There's some fantastic racing and dicing going on.
Was able to get that pass done, then set out after the 74. And then this move here, Ganian.
Little bobble right there. That was the defining moment of this race because the gap was suddenly established. Nikolai didn't look back.
And to the line he comes and gets his first pro win. Absolutely fabulous run. And then this little battle here, last lap, last corner.
You're going to feel aggrieved when someone makes that move on you, but I think it was totally legit by Ian to make that move.
Well, I mean, as Robinson turned in, the nose of James' car is already in front of Robinson. So, I mean, he certainly knew he was there. He was just trying to do anything he could at that point. And, wow, what a race. What a finish. And we get another one. We get to watch these guys go at it again this weekend in these doubleheader formats. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us here from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, round 6. The Pirelli GT4 America Sprint Championship in the books. For Calvin and Ryan, I'm Greg Kramer. Thanks very much. We'll see you later today.